Be aquarists out there. I'm gonna introduce you to my aquariums. I'm just turning them on in the morning. The light coming on. For anybody light sensitive, it's coming on right now. I have to close my eyes when I turn it on. This is one of my tanks that I really like. It came together the way that I wanted it to. It's very funny that I'm choosing to show you when I haven't filled the tanks. You can see there's a little bit of a come down, evaporated, that's the word. But these are T. Mikagema. They're the Vietnamese white cloud minnows. These are all ones that I've bred from a single batch that I had found at a store, local fish store, and I've bred them enough to where I need outcrosses, and I haven't been able to find any, so they're just kind of hanging out for now until I can maybe find some outcrosses to start breeding them again. Really like them when they're excited right now because I just turned the light on and they think I might feed them, but I just lost my train of thought is what I did. Oh, I really like how they dance for the females. That's what I was gonna say. The males dance really neat. When they get going, you can see some of them in there are a little bit darker, like more dusty colored, I would say, like that one in front in the middle, that male. And that is what I was working on before I ran out of I guess ran out of breedable fish as far as I had gotten the last batch I bred. I had gotten 2 babies that had some fin deformities, so that's when I stopped. I was like, okay, we gotta get some outcrosses in there. But yeah, this tank I put together, this is several years old. Got some grass, various types of grass. I got the Val in there, and then I also have dwarf Sagittaria and some chain swords in there, but it kind of all got mixed together, and it's a little hard to tell what's what when it's all together. The swords the dwarf chain swords I can tell, but the other stuff you just have to kind of, well, I just have to kind of see how big it grows to know what it is. I'm sure other people probably would know, but I've got a bunch of guppy grass on this side, and the filter is down behind there, sponge filter, so it kind of makes it look like a tree. I really like that, with like the roots coming down look like vines. So I've got kind of like a tree there, and then it comes out into more of a flooded field look. And of course I was not wanting to get duckweed in here, but I had duckweed in other tanks, so that's just what happens with duckweed. So I'll take you down and turn on some other tanks. The dogs are waiting for food, aren't ya? Just a minute. It's not about you this morning. Alright, and then this is just a kind of like my holding tank. This is my catch-all or my quarantine, stuff like that. Light coming on. Right now it's housing the 2 goldfish that in the summertime they go out to our horse tank. These ones don't go in the pond out back. Speaking of the pond out back, there it is. So there's other goldfish in there. These 2 I held back because this one, as you can see, swims goofy. That one, I don't know if it got a damaged swim bladder or what when it was a baby, but it when I was growing them out in here from babies, they all seemed to be fine except for that one, and so I held back another one for its friend, which now swims like it since it only lives with it. It's kind of funny. Yeah, so those are the 2 goldfish. I just put them in a horse trough in the summer and in here in the winter. The reason that I do that is because the one that's got a difficulty with swimming, my pond out back has a lot of loam and kind of like muck built up on the bottom, which is really healthy for it, but that one, as soon as it stops swimming, it just kind of falls down and rests on the bottom. Oh no, too excited. They get pretty excited when I'm turning them on in the morning, because I usually feed them when I turn them on. But yeah, there you see, she goes down, well, I don't know if it's she or he, but goes down and lays on the bottom, and I was concerned that it would just kind of sink down into there and not be able to breathe good. So the horse tank, of course, has a hard bottom, and as does this with the slate in there, so I thought that worked well. Then we'll come over here and we'll turn other lights on. More lights coming on. This tank really needs filled up. Another light coming on. This is my, I don't know, I guess I call it my community tank. But I like doing ecosystems, so I made this tank specifically, well, all the tanks, but especially this one, to look like a lake. And so I actually really like all the algae kind of growing, because it looks just like if you swim down underneath the water and you look in lakes, that's what it looks like. So I'm pretty excited about that. So I got some guppies here. They're locally bred by someone else, and I picked them up at a fish store around me in Traverse City in Michigan, called Aquariums. If you're in Traverse City in Michigan, you should check them out. He's got some nice fish there. Kevin, the owner there. I really enjoy going there. I got these guppies from there. Actually, I've gotten almost all my fish from there. Some from another local one. So there's my CPDs getting all excited, chasing each other. And there's a little pygmy Cory. There's 6 of them in here. Oh, it's not going to focus on it. Focus on the weeds in the back. Higgins is ringing his bells. Hang on a second. He wishes to go out. I'm going to have to take you guys with me. Hey, bud. Wanna go outside? Chester wants to go out too. Ready? Wait. Wait. Free. Off they go. Alright, hopefully I'm not going to make you guys too dizzy walking back to the tanks. Alright, toy bin. And then there you can see one of my puffers. So I originally started this tank to have puffers and CPDs in here, little pea puffers. There's 3 pea puffers. I was trying to get a trio of male and 2 females, and they were babies, so it's really hard to tell what they are, and so they turned out to be 2 males and a female, but they are pretty peaceful. They'll chase each other around a little bit at certain times, but then they'll also hang out together, and the female seems to run the show, so it works out. And it's interesting because I wasn't sure if it was going to work out having the other fish in here, especially after I let the peas be in here just by themselves for a while, and they had the tank to themselves, and so I had other little territories and everything set up. And then I put the rest of the fish back in here. I had the CBEs in there before, that's why I say back in there. And this little guy, we call him Flame, and it's, oh, there we go. He actually runs the tank from like a half a second after he got put in the tank. He didn't even take time to acclimate or anything. He just like went in the tank and immediately chased one of the pea puffers, and he's just run the tank since. It's kind of comical, really. But yeah, so so far there's been no issues with my peas going after anybody. They're actually the ones that kind of get spooked from the other fish, so it's interesting. But lots of duckweed. which I don't mind. I kind of want it in this one. It's nice. Nice for helping clean the water, and then I also can move it over and feed it to these guys. And then there's one more tank, which is kind of in a mess right now, but got a bunch of stuff on the table I need to clear out. Okay, light coming on. So this was my CBD tank slash my breeding tank. Let me move these apples we just got. So this was my breeding tank because the sun comes in here on their table. And, wow, am I shaking? And I've bred several different things in here, but I just had the CPDs in here. There's 3 left in here, but they're the 3 that stay hiding, and that's why they're left in here, because I can't seem to get them out. But I'm hoping to work, oh, here comes one of them. I'm hoping to work on getting them out so that I can then, I would like to try to dabble with some Scarlet Batis if I can find, especially if I can find a female. I know the females are kind of hard to find one, because mostly I guess just the males are sold because they're the pretty ones. But I'd really like to try to find some of those to work on playing around with breeding those. So we'll see. There's let's see if it'll let focus on it without showing the box and the glare. But there's a little shrimp. I just have basically like mutt shrimps. And all my pothos growing out the top there. Here's this tank from this side. So yeah, that's my tanks. If anyone was interested and liked what I've got going on there. The natural route of keeping them like this, where it's like an ecosystem, is, I really like this way of keeping them. I've kept them for quite a few years this way. There's a Higgins. Oh, here's Shad asking to come in. I've kept them for quite a few years. This is the oldest tank. That one's been going for 6 years now, I think. Maybe, something like that, 5 or 6 years. And I just run, like, this one only has a bubbler in it, airstone. The others, as you can see, have sponge filters in them. And I do that just because that's the quietest that I can find to run, and I really like that. And there's no issues when the power goes out and comes back on. I really like all that. But yeah, all I have to do is I trim weeds, and I refill the water, which I need to do. I refill water, top it off. If I notice anything's going sideways, I will change water, but not very much usually. And they pretty much take care of themselves in that manner. I, of course, feed. I feed them mostly frozen foods right now. I really like feeding live foods, but right now it's not working out too good for me just because of my health. But yeah, mostly feeding frozen foods, and then I feed every once in a while. I'll feed some flake or pellet or something, just to keep them to where they can eat that. Not to spoil them too much on the other stuff in case I need someone else to feed them for me, and that way they'll eat whatever. I mean, the puffers only eat what they want, basically. But another perk of keeping tanks this way is that there's, with the ecosystem in there, there's tons of natural bugs in there. There's cyclops and water fleas and seed shrimp and stuff like that all in there. So that's all natural fish food, and I keep a lot of snails in all my tanks. So the baby snails are food as well. And of course the shrimp, baby shrimp are food. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that because I'm shaking so much. It's probably making people seasick. So Alright, hope any aquarium keepers out there enjoy it. Alright, we'll see you next time.